Allan here. Thanks everybody for watching and listening and being a part of today's conversation. I'm very excited. We're chatting with actor Sarah Lancaster. So many amazing projects in your filmography, television moniker. But we'll start with Blue Ridge because that's why we're here. We spoke with your co-star, Jonathan Sheck, recently. He was just the best and had wonderful things to say about you and about this show. So thanks for your time. It's great to meet you and chat with you today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it too.
Yes, well, this is a great show, and there's just so many wonderful things about it. But the one thing that I really appreciate about it is I feel like that it's a show I could watch with kids. I don't have to usher them out of the room or explain something to them, but it's just all has all the things you would want in a procedural type show, but family friendly and just really great messages. How was your experience on this, and what was it like working with such a fantastic cast? And I mean, everything about this is wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank thank you. That's very nice of you to say. That's very unique, special group of people. Um, what you said about it being family friendly is absolutely true. And I think the thing that appeals about it is there's a little bit of something for everyone. You know, you're right. You do have that procedural element. You've got the weak sort of whodunit and the action and the bad guys that got to be caught. But then, you know, my storyline sort of encompasses like this small town family and trying to make it work with a teenage daughter and the trials and tribulations that you go through with that. Jonathan's character and I are divorced and he's trying to win me back. So you've got, you know, you've got romance, you've got family drama, you've got the procedural, you've got the action. There's just a little bit of something for everybody in there, which is nice. Um, I'll certainly let my boys watch it, although I can almost guarantee you they won't care. My
Yeah,
kids are
that's
not
just the
impressed
way it
by
is.
you.
Yeah, that's just, I think that's the nature of the business for you and just anybody, because I've talked to so many people over the years, and I have found that most of the time, 95.5%, any kid is like has no interest in what you do. Even like older work, like maybe Saved by the Bell or like
Yeah.
Chuck, which we just introduced our 9-year-old to Chuck, which is such a fun show. I don't want to change topics quite yet, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting though. Like when they do watch you, do they have feedback for you? What do they think? I mean, what
I
is their connection with everything?
I can't honestly think of something that they've sat down and watched. I mean, Oliver, it's like it jumps, right? Julian just turned 7, so what's he gonna watch really? I mean, he could start, but I'm his mom, so he'd rather like me go out and play catch with him and watch a show that I'm on. He just doesn't get it, which I actually I'm saying it's a thing, but it's not a thing. I quite like that they don't care and they just want to be kids. And then Oliver, you know, he's 12, gonna be 13 this summer. Like he doesn't care what I'm doing. He's got, you know, lacrosse and friends and middle school. And, you know, I just can't think of anything that they've really sat down and seen. And then, you know, the occasional person comes up to me when we're having lunch or dinner or something. And it's just everyone's generally very nice. So that's a nice thing that happens, but they don't quite connect everything, which I
Yeah,
like.
I
Yeah.
get it. Now it's interesting. I had somebody on recently who was a part of that American Pie franchise, and
Uh,
he has kids, and one of them is very active in the business, has had a fantastic career in his own right, and then a daughter who is sort of sussing out the business. But I asked him the same question because he told me they've seen pretty much like this movie, that movie, but they haven't seen that American Pie series, nor do I want them to see it because it's kind of weird that it's their dad. Like, and so I get it. Like, I think sometimes because of what you do is so different, like, it might be good that they just kind of look at you as being mom and that's it. Maybe later in life, if they show interest or perhaps, or they don't. But I think it's cool because it's so different than what anybody else would do.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with all that. I agree. So we'll see what's to come as far as their interest level in it, but happy where it is right now.
Yeah, I love it. Well, as I said, you've done some really cool projects. What was it that interested you in this story in particular on the INSP network? Because again, this will come out later, but I just want to ask, like what attracted you to the project and made you want to commit your time to it as a storyteller?
Yeah, this one was interesting. Gary Wheeler is our executive producer, creator, sometimes director, man of the hour. Like he's tremendous. I did a movie of the week with him called Christmas in the Smokies years ago. And I just adore this man. I adore his work ethic. I love how he runs a set. He's so positive. He puts a great group of people together. And when I did that movie with him, we just really formed a special friendship, and we've kept in touch over the years. And I just said, like, you just say the word, I'll just show up wherever the next one is. But Blue Ridge, the film, actually was the last project I did before COVID. And now Blue Ridge, the series, is the first project I did post-COVID. And COVID, I think, changed a lot of things for a lot of people. But for me, you know, it really, if I'm going to leave my family and I'm going to not be here with my kids and being a mom and have these moments with them, it needs to matter. I need to be with a group of people that I care about, putting out a product that I care about, with a show that I believe in. And this just checks all those boxes, because otherwise, what's the point, you know? So it's a great group of people. It's a great story. He's got great actors. It just, like I said, checked all those boxes, and knowing that Gary is like at the head of that, it's a trickle down effect, right? So, and Jonathan too. Jonathan was my number one on the movie. He's the lead of the thing. So same thing. He sets the tone on set. He sets the pace. Everybody kind of falls in with the number one on set. And he's such, I mean, you said you just talked to him. He's such a generous, kind, open, warm individual, like not enough adjectives. He's great. And I want that. Otherwise, I just want to be home with my great husband and my two awesome kids. Like I'm older now. That's what I want to do, you know?
Yeah, I could have talked to him for hours. Now, have you made the move to Nashville too, like, or Atlanta, like a lot of actors, where I it was interesting talking with him about how many celebrity front public facing neighbors he had. It was insane, all the people he listed off. It's crazy. It seems like people are leaving LA now and moving to other places because filmmaking, auditioning has the landscape has changed because you can literally do any of it from anywhere.
Yeah, completely. It blew everything wide open. And my husband's in the industry too, although he's a lawyer. Yeah, we moved to Nashville. It's so funny. Jonathan and I were both living in Los Angeles when we shot the film, and then we had no sort of idea that this was going to become then a series. And we just so happened to both move to Nashville at the same time, with a lot of other people as well. Like you're saying, there has been sort of a push to go seek out other places, because you're right. You don't audition in person anymore. You do this now, and work is everywhere, you know, and Atlanta has tax breaks. And you know, half the time I'm not even working in LA anyway when I am working. And ironically, we shoot this in Charlotte, which is a much, you know, much easier commute than had I stayed in LA. So Charlotte's a hop, skip, and a jump, you know? So
I love it. Well, I want to ask you about what your experience has been. I know with the strike, a lot of things changed just in general. One of the things that was being pushed for was more in-person auditions, but because of the pandemic and all of that, everything really, I mean, they were doing virtual before, but it really became a thing. Do you have a preference one over the other when it comes to auditioning to things, or you're so selective now, I guess, you have more time to consider what it is that you're doing?
yeah, I am pretty selective just where I am in my life right now with my boys at their age. You know, there's good parts and bad parts to the self tapes. You sort of feel like you're just like sending it into a void. Like, is anybody out there? Is anyone seeing this? You know, so I sometimes miss that instant feedback in the room, and like the electricity that's in the room. At the same time, with the self tapes, you're able to really take your time and put out the product that you you want, you know, your potential producer. So it's good and bad. There's pluses and minuses, you know.
Yeah. But again, I think at the end of the day, it probably just comes down to you as a storyteller deciding what it is that you really want to do and be a part of. Well, I want to ask because your co-star mentioned that obviously that thing you do was a big project for him and it really helped him become a better actor, a better just overall number one, a lead on a project or just participating. Is there one for you, Sarah, that you can recollect out of your career that really was just a special moment for you, lightning in a bottle that really shaped you as an actor and how you approach coming to a set, especially when everybody's new and you're really wanting to get everything right and tell a good story?
Yeah, there's a couple different people that I've crossed paths with over the years that stand out and experiences that stand out. I think for me, creatively, up in when I was starting, the work started to get more frequent. But then I was on this show called Everwood, which was on
Yes.
the then CW. Um, just the writing on that show was, and the character development was so extraordinary. It was the first time as a young actress I really felt like I was like a part of something special, and I just couldn't wait to get the script every week. I Gregory Smith so much, still in touch with him to this day. He is an exceptional individual. I think he was probably number 2 on that call sheet, and then the great late Treat Williams was number. Just those 2 gentlemen, getting to work with them, and then for me personally, being able to do the work on that show was like you said, sort of a lightning in the bottle moment for me. And then Chuck too, you know, I don't know if you've ever talked to Zachary.
I wish. That's a dream cast. We have not ever spoken yet.
But you should. That's world, and he's our number 1 for 5 years. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, Zach certainly set the tone on Chuck, and he knows everybody's name. He's kind, he's generous, he's warm, he's funny. He is an outstanding number 1 on the call sheet. So, and it really matters, because if you get a bad egg in there, it's just like I said, it's a trickle down effect, and it ain't fun.
No, no. And although your job is already challenging, stressful in some cases enough, like you want to be able to play nice with everybody at school, right? I mean, that's really the dream, I think. Well, congratulations on this. This is fantastic. I cannot wait for people to watch. Again, just such a great career you've had. All the projects that you've been a part of are just, I feel like a part of television pop culture history. And this show definitely
Oh,
is in the league, yeah, for sure, of great television shows. And again, it's on the INSP network in April. Sarah, thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you. I appreciate your time.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. It was
Absolutely.
nice.
Like